Mia, when's the last time we interviewed operators? 2.5 months ago? I guess we should get started on interviewing more, huh? Oh, look, it's Beeswax's sister. Wow, that's really nice of you. I'm sure you'll be useful to our team of operators. What a nice, wholesome person. She really carries that kindness that Beeswax has. Must run in the family or something.
12 seconds later.
Carnelian is a modal caster that can have some serious punch, granted you keep her on the field. The modal caster archetype features caster operators that don't attack when their skill is down. They have considerable defense and arch resistance while in this state, making them able to tank attacks that no other operator could. When you activate their skills though, these extra stats are gone and they attack everything in their range. Carnelian's kit is the first to feature the charged skill mechanic in the game. Charged allows operators to generate the skill for a second time to alter the effects of the skills. Her first talent features some extra survivability by recovering nearly half of her HP when you activate her skill. If the skill is charged, the talent effect is doubled, meaning she can recover almost all of her HP. Carnelian's second talent allows her to recover SP even faster while her SP is above the skill limit, allowing her to get her skills to the charged state even faster. Both these talents synergize well with each other in her kit. Carnelian's second skill reduces her attack interval and slows the enemy for a small amount of time. The charged effect gives a slight attack boost and turns the slow into a bind and doubles the duration of the crowd control effect. This skill is amazing burst AoE crowd control. The attack interval reduction and bind make sure that no enemies in her range get to move during the skill. Carnelian's third skill expands her attack range and gradually increases her attack. When the skill is charged, every attack she does will slap a stackable debuff on the enemy that causes them to take more damage from her up to 5 stacks. Carnelian charged third skill's total damage can rival Aya S3's damage, which is cracked. The defining difference between these two is Aya's ability to be heli dropped and Carnelian's lower downtime. Carnelian's kit fits well with her archetype, but what makes her even better in my opinion is also the synergy with Auk. She can tank Auk's shots like they're nothing while also dishing out crazy amounts of damage due to her getting her damage stacks on the enemies faster with her third skill. Despite all these great things about Carnelian, her weakness is the most obvious about her archetype. She can't attack during the downtimes. Despite this major flaw, Carnelian is still a compelling contender for burst arts damage. Hey, what did one cow say to the other? Move over. Alright, you didn't like that one? You don't need to hide your laughter. Fine, I guess they were utter garbage. Okay, sorry. As a 6-star support guard, Pallas can help your melee operators deal even more damage. Her first talent, Birth of a Hero, grants all Minos operators the Vigor buff, which increases their attack by 25% when their HP is higher than 80%. If you don't know your Minos operators by heart, don't worry, neither do I. As you can see, the applicability of her first talent is not that great. Pallas' second talent, however, allows her to recover HP to herself and the operator in front of her whenever she hits an enemy. This talent gives great survivability to Pallas herself and the operator she's supporting. With the 50% uptime, Pallas' second skill increases her attack range by an extra tile and buffs her attack. Her attacks will also have a high chance to stun the enemy briefly. This skill is what I would imagine you'd use Pallas for. Yep, you use a support guard for crowd control. With the high proc chance and fast attack interval, Pallas can easily attack cancel most enemies while dealing moderate amounts of damage to them. Her third skill gives her an attack buff and allows her to attack 2 targets simultaneously. She will give the Vigor buff and an extra block count to the operator in front of her while their HP is higher than 80%. If there aren't any operators in front of her, Pallas will designate the Vigor buff on herself. Pallas' third skill is a little underwhelming for a buff. Compared to operators such as Auk or Warfarin, the attack buff isn't as potent. The extra defense and block count are niche and definitely have their uses, but in most situations you won't be needing it. Is that Blaze in a bikini? Blaze, we already have you as an operator. Blaze altered? Are you kidding me? What happened to your chainsaw? Wait. Oh. Chen traded her sword for a squirt gun that blasts metal corrosive acid at her enemy because she should not be doing this much damage. Her full name is Chen the Holungday, but I'm going to refer to her as Chalter. Shelter is a limited boomstick sniper, meaning she attacks all enemies in her range and deals extra damage to enemies in the front row. Her first talent, Frugality, gives her a chance to not consume ammo on her skills. This talent also applies to other ammo type skills, but the chance is a smaller percentage. Since Shelter's skills all have ammo usage, this talent goes really well with her kit, helping the uptime and getting more damage in. Ashe's second skill can also benefit from this talent, which at first seems amazing considering how much burst damage she can do with the skill, but many people overlook the fact that Ashe's stun runs out before she uses all her bullets, so she won't be doing much more damage because the damage multiplier against stunned enemies is the main way Ashe gets her damage in. When more sniper operators get released in the future with the ammo type skills, this talent will surely be useful. Shelter's second talent gives her 8 attack speed, which is increased to 12 when there are water tiles. Despite everyone making fun of this talent comparing it to Ceylon, the attack speed buff is nice enough on its own, and she doesn't need the extra 4 attack speed to be good since Shelter's busted already. Her main skill is her third skill, Holiday Storm. With an expanded range and a powerful attack additive, Shelter's attacks will also deal 2 hits while also applying her archetype trait to all the enemies in her range. All ground enemies in her range will also have lowered movement speed and defense. If you couldn't tell, the skill deals massive damage and has an amazing uptime with extra crowd control because why not? It can shred through high armor enemies as well, making it perfect for killing basically everything. One thing to note is that even though she does extremely high damage, Shelter runs into the issue of being hurt by enemy defense buffs more than other sniper operators such as Schwartz or Rosa because her attacks hit twice. I don't think I have to elaborate how high Shelter's DPS can be, so go pull for this limited operator if you like big damage. Analysis. Go. Alright, so this thing has long hair, feminine face shape, big eyes, okay, all of this pointing to signs of a female. We're in the clear... wait, chest size? Undetermined but looks flat. What does the voice sound like? Oh god, no, it can't be. This little jellyfish guy, yes person of the male gender, yes man, is a controller specialist, similar to Mentor or Ethan. His first talent allows him to do extra arts damage to the enemy with the lowest HP, while his second talent boosts his attack when there is an enemy with less than half their health. Both these talents seem to hint that Mizuki is more DPS oriented than the other controller specialists who are more crowd control based. His second skill, Prisoner's Dilemma, reduces his attack interval, increases his attack slightly, and allows his first talent to target one extra enemy. Despite the confusing wording, the 2 enemies that his first talent targets are the ones bound, not all the enemies in his range. If you're wondering about the bind uptime during the skill, at Mastery 3 it's 65%, which is very consistent. This skill has a low cost relative to its uptime, but the lack of control on the bind might get you into a few weird situations. Mizuki's third skill, Moon in the Water, expands his range, greatly increases his attack, allows his first talent to target 2 more enemies, and inflicts stun on the enemies his first talent targets, similar to his second skill. If he hits less than 3 enemies, Mizuki will lose 12% of his max HP. At first glance, the skill seems like a powerful one. Look at how hard Mizuki hits the enemies. However, after you factor the slow-ass attack speed of his archetype, Mizuki's DPS seems above average at best. The expanded attack range, first talent procs, and stun are all nice cherry on tops, but even though Mizuki seems like he was built for DPS, he doesn't really excel in the field. Despite this disappointing flaw, I wouldn't blame anyone if they pulled for the femboy. I would harshly judge them instead.